Welcome to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, mindset coach and imposter syndrome expert, and I'm here to tell you that imposter syndrome isn't a life sentence. It's just a dysfunctional way of thinking. If you feel like your ideas are unoriginal, that your message isn't necessary or important, or like you're a complete and total fraud, then you've come to the right place. Time to kick your inner imposter to the curb and create life-changing results for you and your clients. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to the pod. So today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter, and I promise it actually will be, because it's actually a clip that I recorded back in December. I always get really good ideas when I'm in the car, and I think I was on the way home from the mall, and it was around Christmas time, and I just had an idea, and I was in my car, so that's why you'll hear some of the feedback as if I'm in the car. But it's about suspending disbelief. And I say suspending belief a lot in the note because I was driving and I wasn't completely thinking about exactly what I was saying. I was just in the flow and just saying it. So when I say suspending belief, I mean suspending disbelief. And what that is like suspending disbelief for the allowing of your goals. And that is when you don't entertain the thoughts or feelings of, can I do this? Is this possible for me? You allow yourself a little bit of time to just suspend disbelief and marinate and sit in the thought of, yes, this is so possible for me. And this is actually a concept that I picked up from Reese from Yes Apply. She was my coach because I was in her mastermind back in June until about January of this year. And she talked about this concept a lot in terms of suspending disbelief for a couple minutes a day, a couple hours a day while you're meditating, just doing it in a way where you just allow yourself to dream and you allow yourself to suspend that disbelief in yourself. And what would that look like? So this is just a little glimpse into my brain when I'm driving or doing something that's mindless. I always have a million ideas and things just running through my head. And before I jump off, I just want to say too that private coaching and the From Imposter to Empowered program are both things that have a wait list, and they're both available to you. Private coaching is one-to-one coaching. It's deep, it's personalized, it's the healing and inner work of your dreams. It's so juicy. I love it. I love my clients, and they get access to me completely over Voxer and calls, and they get access to all my programs and all my courses and all my bundles. They get all the good shit. And then the From Imposter to Empowered program is just as good. It's a group program though, so there is community attached to it, and that takes you through the Worthy Woman method, which is something that I am in the midst of developing right now, and it is just as juicy and it is so good, and I can't wait to lead you through that as well. And both of those are going to be at the link in my show notes under Work With Me. So you can sign up for the waitlist for one-to-one coaching, or you can sign up for the waitlist for the next cohort of the From Imposter to Empowered program, which I believe starts in July. So I love you guys, and I hope you enjoy this little clip. The ease that we feel about other people who we look at them and we think, oh, like they're going to be successful. Or we look at them and we think, oh, like they're good. Like, look at their content, it's so good. Or look at how she shows up on Instagram stories. She sounds so powerful and I love her message. Or like when they come out with a program and you think like, oh, like I'm excited for them, or oh my God, I'm so jealous, like as if they could just launch their program. We look at others in a disassociated state. So disassociated means looking at yourself, and associated means looking through your own eyes. So we look at other people through a disassociated state, and that's why it's easier to suspend belief about what is possible for them. We don't have the gunk and the shit that we have to look through to see our own potential. We see the potential of other people. If someone were to come up to you and you don't know them at all, and they were to say like, oh yeah, like I'm a successful CEO of XYZ business, you wouldn't know unless they were lying, but like you wouldn't know, right? Like you wouldn't know, and you wouldn't think about all the hard shit it took for them to get there. They're just the successful CEO. And it doesn't even create a doubt in your mind that they were going to be successful because they are successful. Or when somebody is getting started and you don't know them very well and you're giving them like an encouraging pat on the back, like, hey, like, don't worry, like your time will come, like you're doing great. You suspend the belief for them because you don't have the clog or the drain that is blocking your ability to see your own potential. You are looking at them from a disassociated state. And something that one of my coaches always talked about was the act of suspending belief. What would it look like if you suspended belief of your business being successful? Or what would it look like if you suspended belief of you being able to have $1 million launch? Like, what would it look like? How would it feel? But most importantly, what would you be doing? What would you be thinking if you were able to suspend belief that you would be successful? What would that look like to you? I think that we get really caught up in seeing all of the shit that is in our way and seeing it as a potential barrier, which, don't get me wrong, there are things that are definitely barriers. But the thing is you probably have that question in your mind, is this going to work out? Am I going to be in the place where I want to be? And what I would say with that is, like, that is more a negative expectation than a positive expectation. But then what I would also say to that is that you are thinking about all the reasons as to why it's not going to work out, instead of thinking of all the reasons as to when it will work out. And you also need to get specific on what working out looks like to you. What does it look like to you to be super successful and have everything you ever wanted? We can have this vague idea in our mind. You guys always know that I always say imposter syndrome loves to be vague and non-specific, because then you can't put a face to the name, or you can't really identify what exactly is holding you back. But if you are able to be specific about what goal you're trying to reach, then you know that you'll have it when you have it. And then you'll realize, wow, this was possible. That's why it's so cool to set small goals, because then you can slowly lead yourself into thinking, wow, this was possible. I've achieved something that I didn't think I could, but I put my mind to it and I did it. Now the next step can be just as possible for me too. I hope you guys love that little clip of me talking in the car about suspending disbelief. Again, I think I said suspend belief a bunch of times, but you know what I mean. I don't have to over-explain myself to you guys. And just a reminder that private coaching and the From Imposter to Empowered program are both on a wait list, and you can access that at the Work With Me link in my show notes. And you can find me on Instagram at Your Coach Jill if you have any questions at all. I love to hang out with you guys over there. If you love this episode, you can screenshot it and share. And also smash those stars for the podcast so you can get the word out and share the podcast, because I love when you guys share it and talk about it, because I want to normalize the fact that we all feel like a fraud. We all feel like we don't know what we're doing. And when we sit in that shame, it's never good. When we sit and think to ourselves that we're the only ones that deal with these problems, it doesn't help anybody, and it really does not empower ourselves or our community. And that's the whole reason we're here, is to empower and inspire. No matter what kind of entrepreneur you are, what you're doing in your career, it is necessary and important, and somebody needs to hear what you have to say. So I love you guys. Talk soon. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Check out the show notes to get started on your free 3-day challenge to overcome your inner imposter. Once you're done listening today, screenshot this episode and share it to your Instagram story, tagging me at Your Coach Jill so I can share it on my page. See you next time.